and keep on working my way around. Once you have the pieces on there like this, take some of your extra clay, roll it into a really thin coil. This is called a reinforcing coil. And you just lay it along the seams like this. And then what I like to do is take my fettling knife and score that in there some more, like this, and then smooth it in. And if it's hard to get in there, you can use your finger a little bit. You may find some of it slides off a little. Once you get the clay smoothed on there, I always like to then cut. So when you cut into the clay and then smooth it on, you're kind of making the clay kind of connect the two pieces a little bit more, and they're joining together even better so that you have nice, strong joints. You don't have to worry about your box falling apart after it dries. I've seen it happen where people, the whole box, get it all done, they put it on the cart, and then as the clay dries, each of the walls start to fall off their box because they didn't attach it well enough. Okay, and then you would do the other one. So that's for the box. And you go ahead, you attach all four sides. Then I tell for the lid, so for example, like this is an example of a finished box. Make your entire box, and then once it's done, roll out a piece, turn it over, and then make your lid that way. And you want to make sure as the project dries that the lid, you can have the lid on there, just fit it, make the top, do whatever decoration you're going to do on the top of the lid. But when they dry, have them dry separately because you don't want this to it'll kind of collapse in there if you try and just leave it on the top. It'll kind of sag down a little bit like that. So you want to make sure as it dries, it's kind of over here to the side. Okay? And then, so that's for one. See some of the, you'll see later on some of the different boxes that I have here. You can see how these are just two small boxes attached to each other. Move that one off here. Now the other ones are similar as far as attaching. The only thing I have option to show differently is if you're going to do a cylinder, let's see the long piece like this. Now depending on how much space you have, you could on this part that's a little bit longer, cut your base out of this one end that has the rounded part. That's the part when you send it through the slab roller, that's kind of at the tail end, and it's left like this. I usually make the base out of that part. Then your leftover clay. So this is the base, it gets cut out of the clay. Then you take this end, and it gets wrapped around the outside. Now, so what usually happens, I like to take the base, score along this edge here, wrap it around the base of the clay, but what a lot of times happens is you end up with an open space. So what you have to do is then roll another slab and then get it to wrap around. Another way is to take some extra clay, like let's say somebody at your table has some extra clay they didn't use, and you could go ahead, take theirs, cut this part out. Again, this will be our clay that gets re-rolled. And then I would score along here. Maybe I would even cut it off even first. I like to attach the clay along the outside of the base. And again, I already showed you guys how to do the scoring. I'm going to score along like this. Score along the outside of the base. Now the one I have here, again, you can kind of tell that was kind of the base of there. This one, I can tell the person, they attach theirs on the top like this. And the reason why I can tell is because this part's coming in a little bit and it's kind of angling in, which is another reason why I like to go around the outside, because then you also have this kind of sitting on the table. And if you see on this one, it doesn't quite match up. So then what I would do is I would take the ruler, make sure it's nice and straight, get it as close as you can around it. Same thing with this one, you want to get the right height. And then take your extra clay, re-roll it in a slab roller, and then cut a panel that's going to fit up along there. And same thing with this one. Score along the inside, do a reinforcing coil. You would even kind of lift it up like this, smooth this together. Now this clay, this is standing up pretty well. You may find that if you just roll it and try and do this, it's going to be flopping all over the place. I had somebody from the other day that they were trying to do this and it was all kind of falling over. If your clay is still too soft, just let it sit out for like half an hour. Okay, or like, and it usually helps dry it out a little bit. I even had some newspaper that we could lay on top of it, and that would help kind of take some of the moisture out of it. If you want to try, if you're trying to dry it a little quickly so you get it to stand up like this. But all this clay is still good. You can move back the slab roller, roll it out, use it for more parts of your clay project, or use it for your sculpture. So if you have 2 additive and 2 subtractive sculpture on your projects, you can cut this to the size you want. Same thing as with this one. Make this part, then make your lid after it's all done, so that they dry separately. You don't have them falling all over. Plus, it's really hard to put 2 pieces inside the plastic bag when we finish up. When you the 2 pieces, the bag doesn't quite close all the way. So it's always kind of good for the first day to just make your 1 piece, work on this as much as you need to, and don't make the lid towards the end. Okay. Last part, for the part that has a different shape. Thing to remember with this one, I'm going to use this since I didn't attach that. When you're trying to use different shapes, you don't have to re-roll. Try and get this all the way to one edge like this before you cut it out. This would be the base. So this would look like, this would be the shape of the box. And on the top, it's maybe use this as the template for the lid as well. This would be the top part that you would take off, kind of like this one. Imagine that this was like the pineapple shape, and this was the lid, and you would take it off like that. If you wanted this to stand up tall, like this one, let's come to the side, then what you would probably want to do is you would not want to have this part. You just want to cut this part out and then cut off your box about right there and make this shape part of the lid. Or you could even do like this is like the handle on the lid. Have like a flat lid, it has to be like the handle. Or you could sculpt like the top to a pineapple or some sort of more intricate piece that you have. I wouldn't want to try and make this stand up and try and make all these little pieces that fit together. So I have a diagram of how you'd cut those pieces out, but just kind of really briefly. You would cut these 2 pieces out, so this would be your base, and then what you would have would be a bunch of strips of clay, so like these. And imagine that this is your base cut out here, and then you would cut this out like this. You would kind of piece those together this way. This is the base of your clay. And then put those together, okay? You would construct all those. So I think that's, if there's anything else here I need to show you. Okay. You can hit stop on there.